G'day everyone. In this video, just like the title says, I'm going to go through and show you an almost set and forget setup for the Taylordrift ScottishTryHard script. What I mean by this is I'll show you a way to set this script up. It's going to give you good anti-recoil, good aim assist across all weapons, and very minimal time spent in the menu adjusting values. The reason why it's almost set and forget is because from time to time, we will have to go into the menu quickly and adjust some anti-recoil values, but that's about it. Also, I'm not a clickbait wanker, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, this is set and forget when it's clearly not. Anyway, to save some people some time, if you're a perfectionist, if you like to spend a lot of time on values and adjusting this and that and making sure everything's perfect and exactly how you want it to be, then this probably isn't going to be the video for you. This also isn't going to be a full video guide on the script. So if you're brand new to this script or Taylordrift scripts in general, I strongly recommend watching my full video guide first, which I'll leave a link to in the description. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into it. Alright, so I'm going to go through and show you how to set this up now. First thing is anti-recoil. We're going to choose Modern Warfare Rumble. We're going to move over to the aim assist. Now, you're going to choose version 1 or version 3. It's up to you which one you use. I usually use version 1. Whichever one you decide to use, all you need to do is turn it on. We're not going to enter in here and change any of these settings. We're going to turn it on, and that's it. After aim assist, we get to rapid fire. We're going to leave it off, but we're going to go into the rapid fire settings and change that RPS to 15 and then back out. After this, we've got cancel reload, Taylor sense, and a bunch of other mods. If you want to use these ones, you're more than welcome to. Turn them on if you want to use them. For me, I use cancel slide, and I also use bunny hop, and that's it. After this, we move over to the quick toggle section. We want to make sure we've got a rapid fire quick toggle set up. So I've got L2, LT, and D-pad up. It's completely up to you which one you'd like to use. But make sure you've got a rapid fire quick toggle set up. The use profile switch needs to be turned off. The reason for this is because for this setup, we're only going to be using one profile. The script is not going to change from primary to secondary. This is going to be a very simple setup and it's not going to change. So we're going to need to make sure use profile switch is off. There's also the controller layout option. If you don't play on default, you play on tactical or lefty, whatever you play on, make sure you choose that from the list here. I play on default, so I'm leaving that one. Once you've done all that, it's now set up and ready to go. It's a very basic setup, but believe me, this works. I'm going to jump into a plunder match now, go through some of these anti-recoil values and show you how to work it. Okay, now I'm just going to quickly go through some loadout options with this. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like this setup with this script is completely sunshine and rainbows. There is some downsides to it because we're going to be using one profile, meaning that we're going to be using only one anti-recoil value for our primary and secondary weapon. This means that we need to use a primary and secondary weapon that has a fairly similar anti-recoil strength. It doesn't have to be the exact anti-recoil pattern. It just needs to be a sort of similar strength. So to show you what I mean, as you can see here, I've got the EM2 and the OTS. That's a fine combo to use. The EM2 recoil, kind of high. The way I have the OTS set up, kind of high as well. Another example, if you use the Krig and the Bullfrog here, great combo because the Krig recoil is kind of low. The Bullfrog recoil is kind of low as well. So you can use those together. I forgot to rename this one, but this is an example of a not the best combo. So if you have a Krig which has fairly low recoil compared to your secondary Cold War MP5, which we know does have a fairly high recoil compared to other SMGs, it isn't going to be the best combo. You're still going to get decent anti-recoil across both of the weapons, but to get them both absolutely beaming is going to be kind of hard. Another example of a good combo is something like this, the Stoner and PPSH. If you want to run, an SMG and a sniper, you can do that too because anti-recoil isn't going to affect you when you're sniping and you're only going to need to worry about it for your primary weapon anyway. Anyway, I think you get what I mean with picking weapons that have a similar-ish kind of recoil. Let's get into an actual game and I'll go through these loadouts here and show you just how good it can be and what you need to do with the anti-recoil to adjust it each time. Alright, so the first loadout I'm going to pick, just a nice simple one, going to go with the Krig and the Bullfrog. You can see here, Modern Warfare Rumble, I've got it on 32 vertical strength, nothing for horizontal, and that's how I'm leaving it. That's how we're going to play with this loadout. So let's go have a look.
Enemy soldier incoming. Soldier incoming.
Fuck off, Roskin.
Okay, now this time I'm going to use a loadout that's a little bit more heavier on the recoil side of things. So I'm going to use the EM2 and OTS 9. Now, all you need to do if you use a loadout that's a bit more heavier on the recoil compared to the last one is turn the recoil strength up. So I'm going to go from 32 to 42. I'm not saying 32 and 42 are going to be perfect for you and everybody else. You do need to find the right vertical value that's going to be, suitable for the loadout you're using. I recommend starting on 15 or 20, testing it out in a few matches, and then keep turning it up until, you're happy with it. But because I know this loadout has more recoil than the last one, the Krieg and the Bullfrog, I'm just going to turn this vertical value up, and away we go. Well, hello. I got 3 rounds. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Didn't change. Oh no, I've got 3 bullets. Oh no.
Enemy soldier
Oh no, you little fucker. This time I'm going to go with the Stoner and the PPSH. For this one, I know the recoil for the Stoner and the PPSH is going to be a fair bit lower than the EM2 and the OTS. So I'm just going to go back in here and go from 42, maybe down to 35, something like that. So as you can see, this is what I mean by it's not a full set and forget. Depending on the loadout, we do have to jump in here and quickly change a couple of anti-recoil things around, but it's not a big deal.
Watch the skies.
UAV is bingo fuel.
And there you go. So after those clips, I'm pretty sure you get the point of how easy this is to get most weapons beaming, and you really don't have to put a lot of effort into working out values and adjusting this and adjusting that. You can just use one profile and get great results from that. This setup is perfect for someone that's after, a very basic setup. Maybe if you know yourself that you are decent at the game, maybe look, I'm really good at controlling recoil, but you got a Cronus N because you wanted to give yourself a bit of an edge, then this would be a great setup for you. You're already fairly decent at the game. You don't want to spend a lot of time, oh, am I on primary? Am I on secondary? Did the script change to this? Oh no, I've got my thing mixed up. I need to resync it. If you just want to have the best experience in setting up the Zen, putting a script on, setting the script up, and then playing the game, this is probably going to be the best way to go about it. The only thing I didn't run through in those clips there was the rapid fire quick toggle, but I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Those 2 buttons that you set up just turn rapid fire off or on when you press them. So mine is set up for L2, LT, and D-pad up. So as soon as I press those 2 buttons, the rapid fire turns on. And if you remember before, I told you to set up your rapid fire RPS to 15. So this means that as soon as you activate the rapid fire, it's going to be on. So if you jump into Battle Royale, you have a pistol at the start, maybe you find a DMR at the moment that's ground loot, and you want to turn rapid fire on, you can quickly, boom, rapid fire quick toggle, and you've got it for the DMR. Once you find another weapon or you get your loadout, you can quickly rapid fire quick toggle, turn that off again, and away you go back onto your regular settings. And also, just to clarify, I'm sure most of you wouldn't know anyway, but you don't have to go into Plunder every time to test it out and adjust those anti-recoil values. As I've been testing testing it out over this past week. I've just been jumping in, playing Rebirth, and using whatever loadout I wanted to. As I've been shooting at people, I've been adjusting it as we go. So eventually, you end up remembering sort of where the anti-recoil needs to be for what loadout, and you don't need to sit there and, you know, test it each time or adjust it slowly each time. Eventually, you'll just remember, okay, it'll be about here for this loadout, or about this strength for this loadout. But yeah, so that's it. Very basic setup, works very well. If you have any questions about it, just ask them in the comments. Cheers for watching. I'll see you next time.